Welcome to my Game Week 29 score predictions of the 2022/23 EFL Championship season. We are back with all 12 fixtures this game week. No postponements due to any cup competitions. We begin at the Hawthorns, Friday night kickoff. It is West Bromwich Albion facing Coventry City. West Brom, in their last game, they did lose to Burnley, 2-1 defeat in the end in that game after the Scott Twine free kick right at the end, which helped Burnley take all 3 points in that game. Coventry City picked up a nice comfortable 2-0 victory over Huddersfield Town in their last game. And, well, Coventry City also, after the start to the season, they did have, right at the bottom of the table, didn't manage to get going for a while, but they now see themselves in 13th place. They've clawed their way out of that relegation zone and into mid-table. It's been very good by Coventry City. And it's going to be a tight one here. West Bromwich Albion done very well under Carlos Corberán so far. I'm going to say it's going to end in a draw, though. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this game. West Brom, of course, will want to bounce back from their Burnley defeat. Also, Coventry City, they'll want to try and get some momentum going as well after their victory. But, I think both sides will have to settle for a point in the end in this one. I'm going to go for the 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got a very good one. Norwich City against Burnley. Of course, these two sides were in the Premier League last season. Burnley, top of the table. No one can stop them. It's going to be an interesting game, as I did say, because Norwich City, under their new manager, David Wagner, they've been absolutely superb. They beat Coventry City 4-2 in their last game and also scored 4 against Preston as well in that, which was his first game in charge as well. His side has scored 4 goals in his first 2 games in charge. And, it's going to be a close one, this. I don't think Norwich City will be able to score 4, and I don't think they'll be able to pick up all 3 points. I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win for Burnley. I just feel like Burnley are just going to edge it in this one. They have been absolutely superb this season, as we already know. But it will be a pretty interesting game, this one, though, as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory to Burnley, but definitely going to be an entertaining game, that one. Next up is Rotherham United against Sheffield United. Sheffield United currently in second place, doing really well themselves as well. I think they'll probably get automatic promotion the way that they are going, and then obviously Burnley winning the league. But their opponents in this game, Rotherham United, they've been pretty poor of late, although in their last few games, a couple of games Rotherham United did last time out, they did pick up a 1-1 draw against Watford. They also beat Blackburn Rovers 4-0 prior to that draw as well. So they've been pretty decent over the last couple of games. Coming up against a Sheffield United side, though, I just think it's going to be too much for them, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win for the Blades in this one. Next up is Huddersfield Town against Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers not doing the greatest, since the appointment of Neil Critchley, apart from their victory over Preston North End, which, always us. But since then, not managed to pick up any win. 4 draws, 2 defeats since, and it's not looking good for him or Queen's Park Rangers at the moment. Huddersfield Town still in the relegation zone, but in 22nd spot, they'll be looking to climb their way out. I think they'll pick up all 3 points in this game. Huddersfield Town, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Huddersfield in this one, and we move on now to Hull City against Cardiff City. This one is going to be a good one. Cardiff City, as of late, tend to just pick up draws at the moment. Hull City, they've climbed up the table well. Still mixed performances at the moment, but definitely better than what they were doing at the beginning of the season. Hull City, it was a good victory last time out, a 3-0 win over QPR, but I just think both sides are going to draw in this game, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up, Luton against Stoke City. Stoke City, they were looking pretty bad until they pulled out that massive 4-0 victory over Reading in their last game. And also, if you have a look at their last few defeats, they lost to Sheffield United, did lose to us, but then also lost to Burnley. It's not, the worst 3 teams to lose to. Maybe they won't be too pleased with losing to us, but you expect to lose to Burnley and Sheffield United, really. And I'm going to go for maybe a surprise result in this one, and I'm going to go for a Stoke City win. I will back both sides to score, but I think Stoke will come out 2-1 winners in this game. We'll move over now to the Riverside, where it is Middlesbrough against Blackpool. I think there's only going to be one winner in this game. That's going to be Middlesbrough. Last time these two sides faced at Bloomfield, it was a 3-0 victory to Borough, and I'm going to go for the exact same scoreline here. Middlesbrough 3, Blackpool 0. Nothing really more to say. Blackpool's form at the moment, it is really poor. Of course, it is going to be Mick McCarthy's first game in charge of Blackpool in the league. He did, his first game was in the FA Cup, where Blackpool did lose to Southampton 2-1 in that FA Cup game just the other day. But I'm going to go for a Middlesbrough win in this one. No new manager bounce for Blackpool, I don't think. Very tough opponents to come up against. And yeah, 3-0 to Middlesbrough in this one. Next up is Millwall against Sunderland. This one will be another very interesting one. Two teams hoping to, push for that top 6. I think it's currently Millwall in 7th and Sunderland in 9th. Still all to play for. There's hardly any points between mid-table and 5th place in that top 6. So still all to play for loads of teams to try and have a push on finishing in the playoffs come the end of the season. I'm going to go for a draw in this one, 1-1, and then we'll move on to our next game, which is on to Deepdale. It is Preston North End against Bristol City. Well, our home form still continues and our away form still continues, both complete opposite to one another. Back at home, dreaded Deepdale, we can call it. It's pretty frustrating at the moment. Obviously, our away form, we are, if you have a look at the league table just based on away form this season, we are currently second place, only Burnley toppers. But home form is completely the other way around. We are in the relegation zone and we need to try and turn something around. Coming up against the Bristol City side, who haven't, they've been fairly decent. Quite a few draws in their last game. 1-1 draw against Blackburn Rovers in their last game. Did beat Birmingham City 4-2 and then a 1-1 with Coventry City and a 0-0 with Millwall. Preston, we did beat Birmingham City away from home in our last game in that 2-1 away win. I'm going to go for a Preston victory in this one. I'm feeling a little bit confident for this one. It will only be a narrow 1-0 as they usually are, but all 3 points, that's all that matters. I think we'll be able to pick up all 3 points in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Preston win. Next up, Reading against Watford. Watford currently in 3rd place. Will they be able to maybe stage an attack on Sheffield United? It still can be done, but I just don't think maybe they'll be able to do it. Watford, they've been a little bit 50-50 this season, but still they see themselves where they are, which is very good, and which it just shows how tight the Championship is. You don't need to get win after win after win to have any chance of winning something. You can afford to lose games in this league and still catch up. Of course, they did lose 2-0 to Middlesbrough in their last game. Reading themselves as well, they've not managed to pick up a win in their last 4 games. Did lose to Stoke City in their last game, that 4-0 hammering. I'm going to go for a Watford victory in this one. I'll go for a nice, comfortable 2-0 in this one, but I think this one's going to be a bit of a tricky one to predict this one. I feel like there could be maybe a little bit of an upset, but I'll back Watford. Next up is Swansea against Birmingham City. Birmingham have lost 5 of their last 5 games. Not going well for Birmingham City at all. There's still time. Obviously, they're not in the relegation zone yet. If they keep on going how they are going, though, that they will probably end up in the relegation zone come the end of the season. Their opponent, Swansea City, they've been a bit 50-50 recently. They did pick up a 1-1 draw against Queen's Park Rangers. They've lost the teams where they really should have won, and then also they beat Watford 4-0. Remember that shock result, and then they lose games where they should be doing better. I'm going to go for a draw in this one, 1-1. Birmingham City need to turn their form around, and I feel like they have a chance in this game against the Swansea side. That's a bit 50-50 at the moment, so I'm going to go for a 1-1. Next up, Blackburn Rovers against Wigan Athletic. Breaking news, Blackburn Rovers have finally picked up a draw, their first draw of the season. It was a 1-1 draw against Bristol City. Their opponents, Wigan Athletic, they have sacked Kolo Toure, and also the fact that Blackburn Rovers have picked up their first draw after going the full first half of the season without drawing. I feel like this is going to be a time where Blackburn Rovers now are only going to pick up draws, if you're going to get what I mean. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this one. I know it's not the bounce back that Wigan will be hoping for, but in a game like this, I'm pretty sure Wigan would take a draw. Of course, it is a little bit of a derby game as well. Not too big, but still going to be a good one, I think. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to go for a draw in this one, though. And then that will wrap up my Game Week 29 score predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And I will see you all in my next video.